Hey, welcome back to another TV episode review. This one is going to be a little bit of a shorter one. This is from Star Wars Clone Wars, the original series. Now, since that series is a mini-series, each episode is about 3 minutes-ish long. So I'm going to try to make this episode brief just because it's it's not as long as the later series. But anyway, I wanted to start with one of my favorite episodes. We'll get to the Mace Windu one. We'll get to the Shock T stuff. We'll get to Grievous and everything. We'll get to that eventually. I want to try to review every single episode of this first Clone Wars series, which, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you know of this show. If you're not, you probably don't. But before The Clone Wars, there was a mini-series that was tying into the movies. This is that show. And so it was 2D animated, traditional animation, hand drawn and stuff. Awesome. Anyway, this episode is Chapter 5. This is I believe, the only episode to feature Kit Fisto, one of the many Jedi Council members from the films. And I believe this is the only episode with him in action. But anyway, he basically, the gist of this episode is pretty simple. We have this massive underwater battle with tons of action. It's awesome. And it's really cool to see Jedi underwater. I believe this is one of the first times that we see a Jedi use a lightsaber underwater. So that's something new. But anyway, the episode begins with Yoda, like a monologue, and he's basically saying, Mon Calamari, the planet, is in danger, and we need to intervene. The Separatist Alliance is, taking over that corner of the galaxy, and so they need to stop them. So Yoda sends Kit Fisto and a bunch of clones to destroy the droids, get rid of the Alliance. And the Alliance in this episode is using these aliens called Quarren. 90% sure that's what they are. And they're weird looking creatures with like tentacles on their faces. And they're basically controlling a bunch of these droids. So they have these saucer-like droids. They have battle droids riding on underwater speeders. And then they've got vulture droids as well. And this big, massive thing, which I'll talk about in a minute. But they're just attacking the underwater cities. They're destroying everything. They're killing Republic cruisers as soon as they arrive on the planet. And so someone's got to stop this. This is insane. So Kit Fisto is brought in, and he's pretty amazing. He's got his robe on, then he takes it off. He leaps into the water, and boom, the episode starts. Bunch of action, just shots everywhere, blasting. It's insane. And I believe this is one of the first times that we see clone troopers underwater. Again, this is a first. It's a new thing for Star Wars, so that's good. Underwater clone troopers, I'm not sure what the name of them is. I'm just going to call them aquatic troopers. They're pretty awesome looking. And they make quick work of these droids. They're just destroying these droids, ripping them apart, just blowing them up. It's awesome. And Kit Fisto using his saber, and the saber's animated pretty well. It actually looks pretty unique compared to a regular lightsaber, like just in the air. This one's different. It's like shimmering. It's like it's wet. It's cool. And so Kit Fisto, he's destroying everything. He even makes a force air bubble, and he's just throwing it everywhere. And he's blocking laser beams, and it's just awesome. Like, if you want a big action scene, this is one of the best episodes just because of the action alone. It's so satisfying. It's like super fast paced, and I don't know, I like that style. And it just works really well. Long story short, the Separatist Alliance, the Quarren aliens they're defeated, they're destroyed. Well, I guess they're destroyed. Yeah, I mean, more like arrested, but we don't see that. We just see the droids get destroyed. But anyway, that big thing I was talking about earlier, there is this massive, the Separatists are desperate at this point because all of their forces are basically dead. And so they bring this massive robot thing, like this giant circle robot with crab legs. It's weird. And it's really powerful. It like obliterates a Republic cruiser in like 2 seconds flat. And then it almost destroys another one. And yeah, this is the part where what I mentioned. Kit Fisto takes the air bubble, he makes a force air bubble, and he throws it at that creature, that robot thing, and it just, it's gone. Well, it's not destroyed, but basically, there are the Mon Calamari, which are friendly to the Republic. They're in this episode a little bit. They start to like help out toward the later half of the episode. They ride these cool sea creatures, and so those creatures at the very end, they take this big, monster machine tank thing, and they take it and throw it down a pit. And that is the very end of the episode where Kit Fisto is just watching, and that thing goes down the hole and it just explodes, this massive explosion, boom. And so that's the very end of the episode. And then the very end of the shot, or the very last shot, is Kit Fisto smiling, that trademark smile. And that's the end of the episode. It's great. I really like this underwater look. I like the whole vibe of it. It's very cool. It has this like surreal look to it. And the music in this episode, the music in the whole show is fantastic. But in this episode, it's really cool. Especially when the action starts up, it gets you pumped, and it's great. It's fast. It moves nicely, and it sounds nice. So that's great. I love the direction. I like the Yoda monologue at the beginning. It's pretty important, but then we get right to the action. I love the design of the clone troopers, the underwater ones. I think this is the only time that we see them, if I'm remembering, because I've seen this so many times. And I do prefer it over the new Clone Wars, although that one is great as well. But I just like this animation better. I like this fast nature. I don't know. I love the director, so that kind of helps as well. I love that we get to see Kit Fisto in action. Other episodes, we get to see other Jedi as well, and not just him. Obviously, Anakin and Obi-Wan are the main focus of this show, but I think it's cool that we get to see other Jedi, other things going on, and some other villains and other battles, I thought that was cool. And yeah, this episode is pretty short. It's only like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but it does a lot with its minutes. It's pretty effective. But that's chapter 5. Doesn't have a name. You could call it Underwater Battle, whatever. It's great. Definitely one of my favorites. I wanted to start with this one. I don't know. I thought it was one of the cooler ones, so there you go. But stay tuned for my other reviews of these shorter episodes. I'm going to try to get to my favorites first and then the rest of them later. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the other ones, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.